Hey there, good afternoon. Welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. This is a show that is dedicated to progressive rock, hard rock, heavy metal, and other forms of rock music. So today is our monthly haul for the month of July. I know it's a bit late. It was supposed to be out, but because of the internet situation, it wasn't able to. But the albums are ready to review. I'm excited. I had 23 albums this month, or the month of July, I should say, which were all, there's a lot of really good and interesting stuff. Most of it I've listened to already, which is somewhat unusual for me. Normally, I don't get to it all, and some of it goes on my need to listen to rack back there. Anyways, we'll start by doing the progressive rock albums first, and we'll do the newest one first, which is this one by Marillion. Some of you who have watched the episode of new album review will have seen a more lengthy and in-depth view of this particular album. It's an album that took me a while to really like this album. I'm not even sure I do yet. Pretty good cover, lots of interesting stuff. It's a nice booklet, a little bit of interesting stuff on the inside. It's a nice shot there. Basically, it comes with a cover insert right here. See, and pretty interesting album. I've listened to it maybe a half dozen times now and did a review on it. I'm still keeping it up in the air. I still haven't warmed up to it completely. However, if you want to know more about it, you can go and watch the review on it, which had like 62 people viewed it, so it's not too bad. Okay, so the other stuff that I got that falls into the progressive rock category is, sort these up here. I've got 6 of them on top of that one. So this one, many of you will have seen that I used this for my live video on one of my Friday Night Live experiences. This is a really good album. Again, if you want to see more in depth about this album, you can go and watch that video. I really like this album. I've liked it since the first time I heard it, which goes back to probably 81, 82 in that time period, so about 40 years ago. I never owned the album. My friend recorded it for me. He had it on vinyl. He recorded to me on 8 tracks of all things. What a nightmare those things were. Anyways, I really, like I said, I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of really great instrumentation on this album. A lot of my favorite songs are on this album. And Yes is really good live. So, Yes Songs, that's the one. So then this, a couple people have been pushing on me to listen to this band. I didn't really need any pushing, I just needed opportunity. I'd long wanted to buy something from them, and finally I found this Moonlight. Is it Moonlight? What is it called? I guess maybe my glasses might help here, you know. Forget sometimes that I can't see too well. Oh yeah, Moon Madness. So this is by Camel. I've had a chance to listen to the album once. It's got 7 tracks on it, plus a couple of 3 or 4, 5 bonus tracks on it. A couple of them, 1, 2, 3. It looks like 2 of them are at the 3 of them are at the Hammersmith Odeon, and one was a demo and a side B of a Decca. But the other songs I've listened to, so like I said, I've listened to the album in its entirety. It's kind of yellow here on Decca Records. I like the inside cover quite a bit too. You see here, pretty much the same as the outside cover, but kind of neat. Take the booklet out here and show you what's in that. Like I said, I've listened to the album its entirety once. I like it a lot. More than I thought I was going to like it, but I still thought that Camel was a group that I could get into, and this album will probably go into my short list for entering into my playlist when a spot becomes available. Yeah, some really good, like that's a nice shot there of the guys. Another shot. The one guy kind of reminds me of Steven Tyler. Nothing against him though. Yeah. So, anyways, Camel, Moon Madness, released I think in 1976. So I'll be giving this album a fairly lengthy listening to, as it'll likely go into I have a short list of albums that get on the waiting list to go on to my playlist. So when a spot becomes available on my playlist, because I never have more than 20 albums on my playlist, which is just, they continuously revolve, and then when one of them gets a little bit long in the tooth, I remove it and I put another album into the playlist, and this will definitely be one of those ones that gets that opportunity. Okay, so the next album up is A Day at the Races by Queen. Okay, for me, I love Queen. I love the albums Bohemian, the album Night at the Opera, and News of the World, and this one. Those are my three favorite Queen albums. It's not really close. The other ones aren't really up there. So for me, Queen is kind of a 3-album band. I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but these 3 albums I like quite a bit. A Day at the Races is one of my favorites. Probably next to Night at the Opera. News of the World is probably my second favorite Queen album. It's hard to say between that and Day at the Races. Night at the Opera. It's, flip a coin. But I do love most of the stuff off of those 3. Not so into the earlier stuff, not so into the later stuff, but that may change as well. So anyways, Queen, A Day at the Races. This is an album that somebody talked me into getting. There was a couple there, and I took this one, Atomic Rooster. I've long wanted to get into this band and listen to them. I listened to this album in its entirety once already. Again, nice booklet, really colorful, some nice shots of the group and the music, and there's a nice picture of them on the back, the 4 of them. They're still really young here. The album wasn't what I really thought it. We thought it would be more spacey than it is. It's kind of psychedelic, actually. I find it very psychedelic, reminiscent of that psychedelic feel that you get from Hendrix. Not so much the stuff you get from Floyd, but more like that. But pretty solid tracks. Like this is a good album. This will likely get a chance at my playlist too very soon when I redo my playlist, because I'm down to about 3 albums on the back burner there, and I like to keep it around 8, because sometimes I go through these dredges where all of a sudden just about half of the albums on my playlist will be, I'm tired of them, and I'll take them all out and put a bunch of new ones in. It's just sometimes that's the way it is. It doesn't always happen. Usually it's just 1 or 2 every week will take over. So the next one up, sorry, I don't know why that got in. How that got in that pile, I don't know. Anyways, so there's only actually 6 in the category of progressive rock. I guess this one might be considered progressive. Not really. John Anderson, of course, very progressive. This is a really good album. It's not something that, if I heard it once on the radio, I probably never would buy it. But I got it. Somebody got it for me for my birthday, and I don't know what year it was. Whenever the year it came out, I think it was '84. And the only other album that I had that year, at the beginning of the year, was the only other album I had been listening to was the 90125 album by Yes. So when this came out, I thought, well, I'm gonna get. I was looking at it in the store. They must have seen me and bought it for me. And at first, I thought, oh, okay, I'll give it a listen, because the keyboardist is very different than the guy in Yes, and so I wasn't so sure about it. But once I started listening to it, it just grew on me. I've now come to like it a lot. Now, I had it on, like I said, in vinyl, and then my vinyl collection in '85 went to my sister when I moved out, and this is it. I re-got it here, and I've listened to it its entirety twice already, and now that one song, The Friends of Mr. Cairo, I've been singing that at work, driving people crazy all week. So anyways, it'll definitely get probably put into the playlist as well. Okay, so that's it for the progressive and somewhat not progressive albums. And now we're going to get into the rest of the rock stuff. Album I got at work, my company is a recycling company. It's not my company, but a company I work for, a recycling company, and we get all kinds of stuff. So we got 30 or 40 luggers full of CDs and DVDs. Oh God, would I've loved to have gotten in there, but they're scheduled for destruction and it's copyright issue. But one of the albums got left behind. I saw it and I just took it. Probably shouldn't have, but I did. It's this Priestess album. It's their Canadian heavy metal band. I've listened to the album once. Kind of heavy, heavier than I thought it was going to be. And but I give it a chance. I'll give it a chance, give it a listen to. So listen to it once. Pretty heavy album. This one, The Doors. I almost have the entire Doors collection. Although I'm not a huge Doors fan, but I do love Jim Morrison's voice. There's no doubt about that. So I haven't listened to this yet, but I will give it a listen to in the next week or so. Next up, this one. This is a greatest hits, I believe. Actually, no, it isn't. It's their Born to Be Wild album. So I saw it. I said, you know what? I wasn't a huge Steppenwolf fan, but there are half dozen tracks, and most of them are on this album that I like by this group. So I got this one. I've listened to it once. It's pretty good. This, I have never listened to it. I don't know anything about it. I know that Robbie Robinson is the main guy on here, so I'm going to give it a try. Looks like a pretty solid album. I'll get to listen to that at some point. Just going to stack the ones I've done here so they're out of the way. This one, I like the first album I got by this group, so I'm giving this one a check too. It's in real good condition. Soundgarden. I'm not a huge fan of grunge music, so, and I can tell you right now, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, no, you won't be hearing me listening to that stuff anytime soon. But I don't mind Soundgarden. They're a little bit different than the others. I kind of like them a bit. And people tell me that if you like them, you probably will like Alice in Chains. I don't know. I haven't got any Alice in Chains. There's a nice shot of the boys here. Comes with a little booklet, like I said, opens right up. Whew, look at that, eh? Right up. So, but I'll give the album a listen to. I like the first one. I listened to it a bit. It was in my playlist for a short bit of time, but I don't know. It's kind of a weird effect. Usually albums grow on me. This one kind of hit me initially and then just kind of slid off, and maybe the same will happen with this one. I don't know, but we'll give it a try. This one was the other album that came with that Priestess. The boss took this one out of the rack and said, "Here's one for you." And so I took it home. Chilliwack. Now I do like Chilliwack, but there's 2 or 3 tracks by them I like, but they're very poppy. So if you don't really like poppy kind of 70s poppy stuff, that you know, like this is AM at best, then don't get this album. But it's got the ones you would want to hear if you are into it. My Girl's Gone, Communication Breakdown, Fly From Here. As my friend pointed out, they're a band that tends to make solid use of other people's titles. Okay, so this is the next one up. I haven't listened to it yet. I have just listened to another one I got a couple months ago by him. I'm a kind of a fan of Paul Simon. There's something about his music I like. I'm hoping this one will be similar to that. Looks like a pretty decent album. I don't know about this baby on the cover stuff, but yeah, I'll give that a try. I like Paul Simon. Then there's this one, which maybe could have went a little bit into the progressive rock, but it was one of the few albums by this group I don't have. Albums in good condition. Of course, we love that logo. And we're talking about this Physical Graffiti, a double album, single disc, double album. Looking forward to playing this. I haven't listened to it yet because I got so many things to listen to that just hasn't made that chance, but it will. It might end up in the backup for the playlist as well. But I've only have 5 spots ready open for that, so it might not. Okay, just gonna move some of these up because I put them too damn far away. Okay, so this one, I like this girl's voice. She's a beautiful woman, yes, but she has a voice. I love her voice. I don't know anything about this album. Not a single thing. I've never heard anything. I think maybe I've heard of Belladonna, but that's about it. But it's Stevie Nicks. The voice is worth the purchase. Yeah, really good. So we'll give that a try. This was a whim. I kind of thought these guys were kind of stupid when I first came out, and then I kind of liked the one song, and then I saw it was a live album, and I don't have many live albums, so I said, you know what, I'll give it a try. It's the Devo, Now It Can Be Told. Devo at the Palace, 1988. Yeah, what the hell. Give it a try. Next up, this was a collection. I think this is... Oh, it's only a 2-disc. I thought it was 3. It's a 2-disc big collection. Both albums are in good condition. Paul McCartney. What's the name of this thing? Oh, something the Fantastic, Light Fantastic. Yeah, Tripping the Light Fantastic. It's a live. There's a live few of them, so you know I don't have any live Beatles either, so I thought this might be a good one to get, and it cost me $2, so I'm not the least bit complaining about that, so I'll get to that as well. This one, I listened to the entire album. It's okay. It's Johnny Winter's, really bluesy, different. Not a bad album though if you like really bluesy. I sometimes like it a lot. I don't get in the mood for that as much as I used to. And the last one was the biggest mistake of the day. There was a 2-disc collection set, and instead of being in one container, they were in 2 separate containers, and I thought it was 2 of the, because they had the same cover on both. This is the Hendrix Electric Ladyland. Had the same cover on both discs, so I thought they were the same album. So when I got it home, I realized that this is only disc 1. There's only 1 disc in here. This is disc 1 of Electric Ladyland. When I went back to get disc 2, which was the other one, which looked like this, it was already gone. So now I'm left with half an album. I guess that's better than no album. So next time maybe I get the other half if I find it. But I didn't realize that's what was happening until I actually got it home. Okay, so that's it for the rock stuff. Got a few non-rock stuff. This one I bought just because I like a cappella, and although I don't listen to a cappella much, I do like it, and this band is the best at that. This was really good. I listened to this because I have an ABBA Greatest Hits, which is good enough for me, but it doesn't seem to want to work anymore. It's not working at all. It won't even come on. I'm not sure what the issue is. Maybe it just doesn't like the receiver or the player. But anyways, I saw this for $1 or $2, I think it was, and so I bought it, and I'm happy with it. It's got almost all the same stuff from that one on it, but there's a few more songs on here than there was on that. And this is a little bit later of a release too, like a 90s release, as opposed to that one, which was a remastered from the 80s. So anyways, pretty good stuff. Another of the crooners that I like, Dean Martin. It's got most of the stuff That's Amore and a few other stuff. I think I actually used this on my video for music other than rock. Pretty solid album. And then the last one is Deuces Are Wild, and this is the B.B. King. Now, I've never been a huge B.B. King fan, but I've never disliked them either. And it's always good to have one from each of these groups. You never know what to launch. Sometimes with certain types of music, I tend to have to put it in the player and listen to it once in a while. Then all of a sudden, click. It'll just click, and I'll start wanting to listen to it. And then that's what happened with Yes. And look where they ended up. Like, I bought the album Drama. I played it a couple times and said, this is kind of spacey, weird. And I didn't play it much. And then it was during a lull in the spring before my birthday, and I didn't really have much to listen to, so I just kept playing it, and all of a sudden it grew on me, and then I started wanting to listen to some of their other stuff. So sometimes that's the way it is, and it's good that it's that way, because that's how I get into this stuff. So there you have it, 23 albums for the month of July. Not a bad haul. I'll be going probably next week to my favorite place to get. I usually buy 4 or 5, maybe 6 CDs off him. They're usually the cream of my stuff, and then the rest I get Dollar Store here, Value Village, other places like that. What do they call them? Yard sales, that kind of stuff. So that's usually where I pick up the buffers that I put in here, stuff that I get that I normally wouldn't listen to. Like, I'm never going to go to my favorite store and buy, like, say, this one. I wouldn't go in there and buy it, because most of his stuff is ranging in between $6 and $15. I'm not spending that kind of money on stuff that I'm only going to listen to on a rare occasion. I go there to get the stuff that I really want to have. And so that last week was the Camel and the Atomic Rooster and the Marillion, and that, those albums were the big draw. The Marillion one cost me like over $20, and I'm still biting that one a bit. But sometimes you have to pay that price. It was the same with that. I think it's out on the player. It might be on the player. No, here it is. It's in my playlist right now, about halfway up. This is Amorphous Androgynous. I paid like almost $30 because this is an import for this, and I liked it quite a bit. I love the cover on it, but I didn't get into the album right off. And it's now starting to make an impact on me, and I'm starting to think, well, you know what, maybe I didn't waste the money on that. But I do have my limits. It's got to be pretty good to spend anything over $20 on. I think I've only done that maybe 3 or 4 times this year. One was a Born Again by Black Sabbath. That one, that Yes album that came out earlier in the year. Or was that last year? I don't even remember anymore. I think it was this year though. And the Marillion album I just showed you. So I haven't had great success spending the top dollars, but usually I do well with the $9 through $15 ones. Those ones I usually I'm quite happy with. Okay, so there you have it, the haul for the month of July. A little bit late getting out, but as they say, better late than never. So again, I hope you like this. For those people who like collecting stuff and like this kind of thing, I hope you got something out of this. So please like and subscribe. It's much appreciated if you do that. That would be great. And I hope you have a great day. This is Murph from Prog Monster. Goodbye.